7-4, 9-2, and bigger the rest.
They're off and racing. The season opener then, the Bet365 British EBF Conditions Stakes race here at Newmarket underway. Ortard Prince has just been taken in behind rivals, where City of Kings shows up towards the far side. Little group of four have just breaking away from the others, but in essence not much between these two small groups. Holguin showing good speed up the near side, with Mukid in behind them, a little bit keen perhaps. Godolphin's White Cap, Majestic Pride not far away, being tracked by High Royal, runner with the noseband on the stand side of the group. Think Climates together with Mukid over towards the far side. Tenjin's getting some cover, so too Power Dress, and Ortard Prince the back marker. Racing then towards the three pole, and City of Kings and Holguin not separated by very much at all, with Think Climate over to the far side. Mukid still travels up fine. Majestic Pride in fifth, bustled along. High Royal asked for the effort down the near side as well. Then comes Tenjin, Power Dress plugging on quite nicely, rather better than that actually, getting involved. And at the back, Ortard Prince. Think Climate's dropped away. Holguin is the leader now. Holguin from Mukid, but now hitting top gear is Majestic Pride. Power Dress has run a fine race, and then High Royal down the stand side. Slowly but surely, Majestic Pride is working his way to the lead. Holguin is going to keep him honest all the way to the line. Majestic Pride and Holguin. Majestic Pride just too strong for Holguin. Power Dress, she ran a super race in third. High Royal next, and then Mukid.
Majestic Pride wins 2-1 favourite. William Buick Charlie up in the Godolphin blue. Holguin was second, 6-1. Power Dress was third at 16-1. Just a neck the winning distance. Majestic Pride, what is typically a good meeting for Charlie Appleby and William Buick in winning form. The race just developed middle to near side. That is exactly where this horse, who was tracking the pace, was produced. He ran around just a touch as he started to come under a little bit of pressure, but then he hit the rising ground really nicely and saw it at the dip well. Just being closed down a touch again towards the line, perhaps idling a little bit, but that's a good start to this campaign for Majestic Pride. Bigger and better things await.
Congratulations, you did that well in the end.
No, thank you. Yeah, no, it's great to get off to a nice start here at Newmarket. He's a horse that we knew fitness wasn't a problem because he's been sort of on the runners list for the last 3 weeks. So we just kept sort of bypassing races, thinking, oh, we'll wait, and then we felt that we'd just wait for the turf. And coming into today with the conditions the way they are out there, I felt that he would handle those probably better than some of the others in the field there, just because of the strength on the dam side there. You know, Gombarda, she was a great mare that brings a lot of her progeny who appreciate cutting the ground.
And did William say it was quite blustery out there? Because it feels on this side of the stand, and I bet it's worse out there.
Yeah, so he got a bit of cover, to be fair. So, but you can definitely. I haven't had a chance to speak to James afterwards, but I say he was getting blown around a bit up on the front end there. It's a shame we galloped this morning. It was beautiful conditions, but yeah, there's some pretty strong gusts out there. What's
the plan with the winner then, Majestic Pride?
Look, I'll tell you, we step him up in trip, go up to the mile. Maybe something like the Heron might be a race to look forward to. He's a horse I feel we'll probably tiptoe our way through the ranks, hopefully. I know he's in the Guineas. You know, obviously people will ask now, will he be a Guineas horse? No. Unless it was bottomless ground out there, and I say just conditions, I know that he'd be one of the horses that would be suited to. If it's highly unlikely it'll be like that, I'll probably miss the Guineas and we'll quietly come through the ranks.
Okay, but you have got several potential Guineas horses. Noble Style would be one. How is he, the Jim Crack winner of last year?
Yeah, he's in great form, done very well for the winter. You know, we've got him in on Saturday at Newbury, but it looks as though unfortunately the ground's going to go against us there. Anyway, it's already against us as it stands, and if we have any further rain, it'll probably, the decision we made probably not to go there, and therefore I'll bring him here for a racecourse gallop, which is, you know, a little bit frustrating because he's a horse that, you know, as you saw, winning the Jim Crack, he's got a lot of speed in the family. He hit the line strong and took a bit of pulling up after Jim Crack, but that doesn't automatically say he's going to stay a mile. So I was hoping to go to the Greenham just to step him up to the 7 and just get a little bit more confidence behind it. But you know, if it doesn't happen, there's only one Guineas over here, and so therefore, you know, he'll gallop here this week, and then we'll head straight to the Guineas.
Okay. And how about the others? You've got Naval Power.
Yeah, you've got Naval Power and Mysterious Night both in the Craven, so need to say that'll be a great pointer for us. Naval Power, as we saw there, had a nice profile, you know, got beat in the Dewhurst, put a line through that, we took him out to Dubai. He he won a listed race out there quite comfortably. He's a horse that I feel he's probably going to be better when he starts stepping up in trip as well. But he's in the Craven and fit and well. And then Mysterious Night is a horse that last seen winning at the Grade 1 in Canada quite impressively. He's done very well. I do think he's a lovely horse. The reason he's sort of Craven bound is to sort of test him on the track. I'm just not 100% sure whether the track will suit him. He's got a great stride on him. I'm not saying it won't suit him, but until you know what it's one of the first excuses we use when they get beat is the dip. So we'll try and take that out of the equation before we get to the Guineas.
And how about Silver Knot?
Silver Knot's in great form. He's a horse that obviously we've seen have a nice profile for his 2-year-old career, finishing second, just beaten in the Breeders' Cup Juvenile. But he's going to gallop here this week, and then we'll go straight to the Guineas with him. I felt he won't look out of place in the lineup without. He doesn't need to prove himself. He's a past winner on this track in the Autumn Stakes, and like I say, he showed a level there in the Autumn Stakes and therefore in the Breeders' Cup that he deserves to be in the lineup.
You mentioned you were galloping this morning. That was Hurricane Lane.
Yep, galloped Hurricane Lane this morning. I had him in France the weekend, but it was just a little bit twitchy. We were away as well, and the ground was particularly heavy down there, and I gave it a swerve, and we came here and we just said we'd see how we galloped this morning to decipher whether we would make our way to the John Porter on Saturday. We're delighted. William sat on him, he looked great, and so therefore all being well we'll head to the John Porter on Saturday.
Excellent. Now I realise this has been a bit like 20 questions, but you're with us today. New Kingdom in our next race over the course and distance you've just seen?
Yeah, dropping back to the 7 will suit him. Unfortunately, he is a bit of a front-running horse, which is, like I say, conditions are probably not going to play into our hands. And he's carrying that weight for a reason. He's going to be competitive, but Lydia, I do think it's going to be tough out there with the conditions the way they are.
Rebel Territory 7-2, supported for the next handicap over 7 furlongs. New Kingdom 4-1.
They're off, jumping away. Wan Lei Pan a little bit slow away towards the far side, and Final Watch taken back and immediately switched in behind the likes of Hodler and Takarib Bay, who are others who are getting a lead early. And those leaders include New Kingdom, who's out very sharply, Rebel Territory in second place, followed by Vafortino towards the far side of the group. In behind those, Hodler, Spirit of Light, tucked away, his grey head just showing out in behind Rebel Territory early on. Al Rafar is just in behind the leaders as well. Takarib Bay next, and those two at the back end of the field are Wan Lei Pan with the red cap and the pale yellow of Final Watch, tightly huddled together then as they head to halfway. New Kingdom leads the field narrowly in the National Stud Handicap. From in second, Rebel Territory. Hodler stands side, far side is Vafortino, and Spirit of Light still just coasting along in behind them. Al Rafar next, and then Takarib Bay, and they're followed by Final Watch and Wan Lei Pan at the rear end of the field. So now they accelerate inside the final two, down into the dip they come. New Kingdom's just been a little bit outpaced here. Rebel Territory and Vafortino are the two who now just go on. They're down the middle of the track, followed by Spirit of Light, the grey. After these is Final Watch and Wan Lei Pan up front. Tight finish here. Rebel Territory just nosing on with Vafortino. Rebel Territory from Vafortino. Rebel Territory home by a neck or so from Vafortino. Spirit of Light a close third, and they were a little way clear of Final Watch.
Rebel Territory wins 7-2, favourite Jim Crowley, Amanda Perrett. Vafortino was second, 5-1. Spirit of Light third at 15-2, half a length the winning distance. They've teamed up at this track a few times before on prominent riders. That was probably key here. Always had the horse in a good early position to challenge. Head just comes up a little bit there. You can see the head on. He just starts to run around a touch, but Jim Crowley straightens the horse up. And again, hitting the rising ground, he's seen it out pretty nicely. Seems to want a forward ride. Stayed just about straight enough. Vafortino couldn't quite get his head in front for the second has run well too.
Congratulations, he was really tough out there.
Yeah, he's just a super horse. You know, we're so lucky to have him.
And he seems to go particularly well fresh, would that be fair?
Yeah, I think so. I mean, he loves the ground, so usually this time of the year we get a bit of cut in the ground. And last year was stop and start. We kept getting quick ground. We had to keep taking him out. And I think he ran a good race here at the end of the year, but he was just possibly a bit over the top. And Jim said drop him back to 7 for his first start, and that was great.
And he seems to be suited here, but the headwind probably made things difficult, perhaps in the final furlong.
Yeah, possibly, but he's a really big, strong horse. He's a year older, and Mark's rides him every day, and you know, he's been saying he's been great form. He's marvellous for so long. I was just hoping the race was going to hurry up and come.
And what might you do now? Would be the Victoria Cup be at all on your mind? Because he's run well at Ascot, hasn't he?
Yeah, it has to be the obvious target if he comes out of this, and we've got a couple of weeks, nearly 3 weeks to that, so that'll be good. And thereafter we'll be determined a little bit by the ground, but hopefully he'll go back to Goodwood for the mile for the big handicap there as well.
At the big meeting, the Qatar Festival.
He ran well in that last year.
Yeah. Okay. All right. Well, so I look forward to seeing what you do with him, and I hope you don't have such a stop-start season this time around. Good way to start. Thank you.
Next up, competitive mile handicap. Empire State of Mind 7-2, Bucephalus 5-1, 6-1 Harswell Duke 13-2 and bigger.
And they're off and racing. So they jump away. Dutch Decoy missed it slightly in the early stages. Bo Pedro's just been taken across to this near side group where Point Linus shows good speed ahead of Outbreak and Empire State of Mind, a small break to heat of the moment. Bo Pedro last of the 5 that come directly up the near side running rail. Harswell Duke leads the bigger group down the middle of the track with Bucephalus not too far away from those. Ashkey and Unforgotten, they race on next, and they're followed by Raising Sand and Great Gadian with Dutch Decoy. And to the rear end of that far side group is Toshizu as they now head on down towards the halfway stage. So Harswell Duke continues to bowl along with the lead over on the far side, where Bucephalus and Ashkey are the nearest pursuers, Unforgotten in behind those. Meanwhile, down the near side group, Outbreak is coming through to join Point Linus, with Empire State of Mind still just in behind those. Heat of the Moment and Bo Pedro chased along, but in touch as well, as they now head on to the final 2 furlongs. Over on the far side, Ashkey's coming to join Harswell Duke. Down the near side, just look how cozily Bo Pedro has travelled right into contention with Empire State of Mind. And the near side group have it, and have it by some way. Bo Pedro, Empire State of Mind. Toshizu is staying on quite promisingly with Dutch Decoy from out of the pack into the dip, and up the hill they come now. Bo Pedro with the narrow advantage here, having to fight all the way because Empire State of Mind will not go away and will not give way. Bo Pedro just too tough though on the day. Bo Pedro, Empire State of Mind, and those two came well clear from both Dutch Decoy and Toshizu.
Bo Pedro wins 11-1, Danny Tadhope, David O'Mara. Empire State of Mind 7-2 favourite second, and Toshizu was third at 18-1. Became clear a little way out. This might just be a 2-horse race. It definitely developed middle to Stan's side. Stalls 9 and 11 had it between them. 2 have pulled a little way clear. It was the Lincoln form to the 4. And perhaps this ground just suiting Bo Pedro that little bit more. Empire State of Mind tried to battle back, but ultimately the leader just had too much. And he's seen it out really well. Stayed well the distance, and bigger handicaps away.
Congratulations. It was a really nice run. Had you seen quite plenty from the Lincoln first time round? Were you pleased with that?
I thought we'd done plenty of work for the Lincoln, but you know, you kind of turn up in very, very soft ground. You have to be like absolutely fit. And I thought he ran well enough. We held him up and travelled nice. He got a little bit of traffic, but finished off. And there was only a small amount between the first and the second there in the Lincoln. I think Empire State of Mind might have been ever so slightly in front of us. He might prefer the ground at Doncaster more. I think he's maybe more of a soft ground horse than us, so it might have swung back a little bit in our favour today. But Pedro's had some good form in the past for the Jesse Harrington stable. I mean, Lee Bond, who owns him, suggested taking the blinkers off him today, which will credit him with the turnaround. But he travelled nicely today. Every time Danny kind of half give him a squeeze, he come back on it and looked like he was full of horse, sort of running out of the dip. But hopefully now he can go on and be competitive in these mile handicaps. You know, we've got, I guess, York coming up, and you know, Ascot, whether it's the Buckingham Palace or the Hunt Cup, and you know, rolls on into Goodwood, and there'll be other mile races in between. The Clipper Logistics race at York in August.
Yeah. Okay. So York, the Hambleton, the next stop. You're not tempted by the Victoria Cup at all? I know that's 7.
Yeah, I don't know. I think he'd be effective at 7. He has been in the past at Leopardstown, you know, which would be less stiff obviously than Ascot. Lee, his owner, mentioned Hunt Cup. I might be able to persuade him to go for something a bit more prize money, but if he wants to go there, we'll go there. I think it's a couple of weeks' time, is it, or something like that.
Yeah.
But he's very excited about him winning today now, so hopefully we can have a nice season with him.
Well, that sounds excellent. Dan, did Danny say anything about where he raced on the track? Because obviously the winner in the second came down the near side.
Yeah, I didn't ask him. I think in the earlier races it was kind of up the middle, ever so slightly drifted this way, didn't they? So Danny just said it was beautiful ground. He rides one tomorrow here now, so a 2-year-old, which he's quite looking forward to. But he said the ground felt really good. Yeah, lovely ground.
And are you going to be dominating 7 and furlong and 8 furlong handicaps again like you were last season?
All my old horses are getting older and probably not very well handicapped this year, but they'll all have a go. Escobar is back. He's a real old favourite. He's not getting any younger. He's 9. Orban had a great year last year. Blue For You, I think, could step up this year now. He showed glimmers of it last year, I thought. And a horse that fell under the radar a small bit, Ross Collin, I felt he ran 3rd in the Buckingham Palace last year, and he probably, what age is he now? I think he's 5, so he could just be coming into that age now where he really starts to, settle down and bet into these proper races.
David, you're speaking on race
winning, so he was kind of times. He needed a bit in hand now too.
Feature up next, Ottoman Fleet 6-4 for the Bet365 Earl of Sefton. Poker Face 100-30, 6-1 and bigger.
And they're often racing over the 9 furlongs for today's feature, the Group 3 Bet365 Earl of Sefton Stakes. A tiny bit slowly away from the gates was Poker Face, but he's soon in touch as Masakela is the overall leader through the first furlong. But now coming through, Reach for the Moon and Frankie Dettori just to increase the tempo slightly. And now Reach for the Moon is our leader from Masakela. Blue Trails in behind those, Radobarg, Intelligent and Poker Face. They come next, and the favourite, ridden cold here early, Ottoman Fleet, last of all as they race through the first 3 furlongs. So Reach for the Moon and Frankie Dettori now are a length and a half clear of Masakela in second position. Blue Trail on the outside 3rd. Radobarg has moved a tiny bit closer with Intelligent, and Poker Face in behind those. And keeping a watching eye is Ottoman Fleet and William Buick, still riding very coolly. They're well past halfway. Indeed, they flash past the 4 pole, with Reach for the Moon still showing the way. From Masakela on the stand side of the group, just second. Between them, Blue Trail making a forward move now. Blue Trail easing into contention. Intelligent and Poker Face also creeping closer. Radobarg comes under pressure. Reach for the Moon has been headed and quickly backpedals. The Royal Runner is beaten here. Ottoman Fleet still trying to deliver a challenge late. Masakela is also struggling now as they come then down into the dip. This is the Earl of Sefton Stakes, and Poker Face together with the rallying Radobarg on the far side. Ottoman Fleet staying on through the dip nicely. Looks like he'll come home strongly as well up the rail. Ottoman Fleet chased by Poker Face and Radobarg. Ottoman Fleet too strong, so confidently ridden, delivers an easy 2-length win. Ottoman Fleet beats Poker Face and Radobarg in 3rd.
Ottoman Fleet wins, 6-4 favourite. William Buick, Charlie Pick Godolphin Blue. Poker Face was second, 100-30. And it was straightforward enough for Ottoman Fleet, who clearly likes it here, and returned to this track in winning ways under what was a patient ride, just waiting for the gap. Probably helped by switching left there. Buick's left just a bit closer to rail, perhaps. But he was far too good. He was a bit disappointing in 3 starts out at Meydan in Dubai, having not got the win out there, but up to this grade with a little bit of dig underfoot here, and we'll see if he can kick on from that. Poker Face kept on for second, but a well-held second.
Ottoman Fleet, a nice winner here. Charlie was just saying this was the target, fit from Dubai, and you knew he handled the track.
Yeah, absolutely, and it was a similar scenario to when he won here in the autumn. So he likes to get his toe in, which he got today, and he had a good tempo to run at as well. So yeah, like you say, Charlie mapped this race out a long while ago, and yeah, he's probably performed better than what we could have expected, really.
And was the plan to get some cover out of the headwind out the back?
Yeah, he's a horse that travels well, and when his races in Dubai probably didn't quite work out for him. He might have been left exposed a little bit too early in some of the races, and where he didn't get the tempo to run at. So I think we were mindful of today to, you know, to let him get a bit of confidence and be the last one to make a move.
And what, I mean, we know that he gets 10 furlongs. Do you have any view of races that might be suitable for him, or was this sort of ringed in the calendar?
Yeah, I don't. I mean, I think I don't know whether he'll have a little break now or not. I'm not quite sure, but I think when he gets his toe in, he's just that bit better. So he's that bit more comfortable, and I suspect that will sort of guide to where he may go next.
So it could be spring and autumn targets unless we get a wet summer.
Yeah, exactly. I mean, you usually can get that here. So yeah, but look, he hopefully can build on this, and you know, he's still a horse with potential.
Were you disappointed with him out in Dubai? Because at the end of last season, I think Charlie was thinking he might pick up a group race out there, or did he just run into horses?
He never ran a bad race, you know. He never did one. So you could never be disappointed with him, and you know, we sort of did know that, you know, they weren't really set up for him to suit him. So yeah, look, he's ran solid all through his career so far.
Now, apologies, is it Magical Pride, your first race winner?
It's Majestic Pride.
Majestic Pride. I knew Magical wasn't correct. Sorry, it wasn't intentional. And what did you make of him?
Yeah, he did. That's only his third start today, and it was tough out there. You know, the headwind for those young, inexperienced horses, it wasn't easy. So I thought he did well. He did exactly what he needed to do, and I think he'll come forward. He'll get a mile. He's an exciting horse.
Charlie was saying that he's thinking creep, something like the Heron, rather than going steeply up in grade.
Yeah, that seems like a very, very logical option.
And is he a little babyish, or is just other horses more forward?
I think he only ran late on last year, and you know, he's done that today. So yeah, I think that he'll benefit from that for sure.
And finally, were you on the gallop of Hurricane Lane this morning?
I was, yeah.
And how did he go?
Yeah, it went very well. So you know, it was beautiful ground up here this morning, and he had a nice exercise, and hopefully he'll go to Newbury end of the week.
How much is it dried out from then?
I thought it was soft, good to soft this morning, and it's probably good to soft, a little bit tacky now. Yeah.
Brilliant. All right, then thank you very much for your thoughts. Congratulations on your double. Best of luck for the rest of the week.
Thank you very much, Lydia.
Cheers.
It's another group winner from Tattersalls.
The Alex Scott Maiden 7 furlongs saw Covey top of the betting. Braggatori John Gosden teaming up 5-6 from Mollicab at 3-1.
And they're off and racing. And Covey eventually away nicely enough. This then the Alex Scott Maiden Stakes race, and Covey moving nice and handily now through the gears and takes up the running in the early stages. Art of Romance sits in behind him. Yellow Lion is out towards the wide outside. The two yellow jacketed runners, Dari with the blue cap right alongside Mollicab with the yellow cap. Mollicab is directly in behind Art of Romance at the moment. And Palamon sits towards the rear end of the field together with Where's Freddy. As they move on then, just outside the half-mile marker, Covey in front then. Covey leading up, striding on by a couple of lengths now to Art of Romance in second place. Then Yellow Lion in third, Mollicab in fourth, fifth for Dari. And at the back, both Palamon and Where's Freddy keep each other company. So Covey and Frankie Dettori just gliding along at the head of affairs from Art of Romance, and three wide is Yellow Lion. Mollicab will need to pick up like a good horse if he's to get back at these, and they're followed then by Dari and Where's Freddy and Palamon at the rear end of the field. So into the dip then, just outside the final furlong. Covey is in front here still by maybe as much as 3 lengths now. Yellow Lion together with Art of Romance and Mollicab, but Dettori's back at last with a winner here. Covey in the Juddmonte colours for John and Thady Gosden. Covey runs out an easy winner to beat Art of Romance. Tight for third. Mollicab was doing his best work late. He might have pinched third on the line, but we'll leave that to the judge.
Covey wins. John Thady Gosden, Juddmonte colours, carried by Frankie Dettori. 5-6 favourite. Art of Romance was second, 17-2, 4 lengths. The winning distance for this hooded son of Frankel looked pretty straightforward for him. He went forward, he kept to that rail. Frankie Dettori has obviously ridden him very confidently. Order didn't change a huge amount really as the race progressed. He looked very comfortable on the track. This was just 2 weeks after a debut effort when second. and he looks a nice prospect. The strength of the form will out, but it's comfortable.
It is Frankie Dettori's first day back in Britain in 2023, riding in public, that is. He's fresh from Santa Anita and Keeneland. When did you get back?
This morning.
Really?
Yeah, I managed to get 2 hours sleep on the plane and 2 hours in my own bed this morning. So I was a little bit tired, but after I rode my first one, I was fine. A bit of fresh air, good old Newmarket fresh air, that woke me right up.
Well, it would do, the wind, absolutely, yeah. Well, you're looking remarkably fresh on it. Congratulations with Covy's success. You decided to keep that very straightforward.
Yes, he's got tendency to go left. He's had a run, so I backed the rail, and yeah, he seems very comfortable on the left rail, and yeah, I mean, he won quite well. He did it on his own and put a bit of daylight from the others, so it's okay.
Seem more professional as well than last time. He looked a bit sort of hang-fiery last time, probably green.
He is, he's a bit different, to say the least, but he's learning, and yes, it's amazing after one run how much horses pick things up, so it was very professional today.
Obviously, it helped him to be against that rail. Did you perceive there might be an advantage ground rise in that area as well?
Well, I don't think I witnessed headwind like this since Franco won the 2000 Guineas. Well, how many years? 15 years ago. So, if you got a front runner, having the rail, it just keeps him more focused, and with the headwind like this. So I decided to do that. Plus the fact that I know that he likes to go left, so it was the obvious thing to do.
And Reach for the Moon earlier in the Earl of Sefton, is he becoming a disappointment?
Yeah, I can't put my finger on it. Spoke to John, and yeah, I mean, he really ran no race at all today, so we're going to give it another try. His first run of the season, maybe being in front, him not suited with this headwind, so, we know that what he's capable of, but today he didn't turn up.
Thrown a few things at him as well. First time as a gelding, first time blinkers.
A lot of first-time things. Yeah. Obviously, the first-time things didn't work. So
try something else.
Try something else, correct. Yeah, of course, we are disappointed, and, but we've gone this far, we'll try again. Maybe the turning track, faster ground, or so many things, hopping trip, so we'll figure it out.
We were just chatting off camera about, and I was asking whether you were here for the Guineas or whether in America for the Kentucky Derby, and it's the Guineas because you've got Chaldine. Yeah,
Chaldine, spoke to Andrew, he's expected to run in the Greenham on Saturday. I mean, he's champion 2-year-old, he won the Dewhurst, and yeah, look, if I had a realistic chance of having a very hot horse for the Kentucky Derby, it might have maybe think a little bit, but I haven't, nothing materialised, and Chaldine is a pretty good horse to give away, so I've decided to come back and ride him.
Do you think he'll get the extra furlong of the Guineas?
I think so, yes. I do believe, yes, Andrew thinks that those thrives with racing, that's why he's going to run him in the Greenham. And this year is, it's only 2 weeks between the trials and the Guineas.
You've also got a couple of interesting fillies in the Guineas trials this week, Coppice and Soul's Sister. What do you make of them as prospects this week? You haven't looked at them, have you? You haven't even thought about them yet. Why would you have done? You've just landed. Is that right?
Yeah, my brain is still in Santa Rita.
No, my brain is still in Cheltenham, it's fine.
But this is what the trials are for, they won the maiden, and yeah, I'm interested to see, they're well bred, and yeah, we will see. Tomorrow and Saturday, and all the trials this week, it'll open things up, and we'll go for there.
Okay, well, it's great to have you back. Go home and get some sleep.
Yes, I don't think the tan will last till about Friday, probably.
Penultimate race, the Pat Smaller Memorial British EBF Novice. Cuban Thunder 7-4 from Yorkshire Terrier at 11-4.
And they're off and racing, and that didn't stop Mr. Ballou starting adequately towards the far side of the group. Cuban Thunder just a bit outpaced early as the speed comes down the near side, with Yorkshire Terrier showing bright pace to lead up from Hackman, who is also showing nice early speed here on his debut. Yorkshire Terrier with that experience from Southwell to call on here this afternoon. Flag of St George third and Blue Storm fourth. Cuban Thunder's worked his way into fifth place now, ahead of Full of Bright Ideas, and at the rear end of the field, Mr. Baloo just being nudged along. So they head then down towards the dip. Yorkshire Terrier against the rail. Hackman going just as well as him, if not better. Blue Storm trying to join in, and Cuban Thunder trying to pounce late on the wide outside flank. In behind those, Flag of St George. The leader is Blue Storm. Blue Storm up the hill towards the line here. Cuban Thunder is running a nice race, but it'll carry him into second place. No nearer. Blue Storm wins from Cuban Thunder. Then Hackman and Flag of St George as Yorkshire Terrier ran out of puff.
Blue Storm wins 8-1. Neil Cullen, James Tate in the colours of Sultan Ali. Cuban Thunder was second, 7-4 favourites. Another winner for Blue Point. It's a first season sire who's really hit the ground running, and this horse showed plenty of speed, just away from the rail actually. The 1-2 have challenged away from it, and Blue Storm looked the sharpest of them, the quickest probably, and perhaps the most straightforward. Cuban Thunder, he's a bit taller, he's got a bit more size about him. He stayed on pretty well. You wonder whether or not that sort of profitable will end up with an extra furlong on his agenda, but Blue Storm won it nicely.
Blue Storm has just got off the mark here at Newmarket on his opening run. James Tate is his trainer. Now tell me about his route to here, because you did have him entered in the breeze-ups, didn't you?
Yes, he was. He has a few sort of issues which would mean that probably wasn't a good route for him, which is fortunate for me and unfortunate for the breeze-ups.
Are you able to explain what you mean?
Well, he has some stable vices and some little issues that would make him not so easy to sell, but extremely easy to race. And he's been a pleasure to train from day one, just finds everything very easy, very natural.
He was a tiny bit noisy in the paddock, but he was very professional in the race.
Yeah, he was, because I mean, usually I try and prepare them to improve from their first run. So you know, we often have a 2-year-old placed at the Craven meeting, and then they go on and improve. So for him to win first time's quite exciting for us. We're hopeful.
Okay, so you think that he could be quite smart?
Well, yeah, I mean, we certainly wouldn't be doing any racecourse galloping or anything like that. So yeah, we're hopeful if he can improve from that. Who knows? I mean, these are early season races, so we don't know what the standard of the opposition is. But I thought he did that quite comfortably, and he wasn't too tired afterwards.
That said, it is Newmarket, and if you win an early season race as a 2-year-old, you tend to be heading towards Royal Ascot. Is that on your mind?
Absolutely.
Next stop?
I'll have to work it out, because normally I have to win a maiden before I go for a black type race, having got beat here. So I mean, obviously things like the National Stakes and Royal Ascot enter your mind, but we'll have a little trail through the calendar, because he's a very professional horse, and if he takes a step forward from here, it'd be nice if we could find a good second race for him.
And trip-wise, what are you thinking?
5 or 6. I'm sure he's a sprinter, but he's very easy sprinter. He's not a keen type. So I would think we'll stay at 5 for the first part of the season and end up over 6.
Okay. I suppose that was implied in the National Stakes, really, with the stiff 5. How about your group of 2-year-olds?
Yeah, very pleased with them. Had a nice Invincible Army filly to run here tomorrow, but she had just had a little hiccup. Oh, no. And then I've got another Blue Point running at Ripon on Thursday.
Okay. And where does he fit among them?
I think this one was probably quicker.
Okay, I'm getting the sense that you like this horse. You've got Iconic Moment entered in the Greenham. Does he go there?
Would love to, but this rain that wasn't forecast originally that now is might scupper that. But I'll have a chat to Sultan Ali, the owner of this horse and Iconic Moment, and we'll work that out on Thursday morning.
It's a real shame. Everyone's falling away, it seems, from the Greenham because of this ground.
Well, I know, because I mean it was soft with a lovely drying week, and it would end up, you know, nice, good to soft, good ground, and now it looks like it could go soft heavy or something like that if more rain fell. But sure, the weather forecasters might change their mind tomorrow.
It would be his first go on turf, wouldn't it? That's right, isn't it?
Yeah, but he's bred to like turf, and he works well on turf at home. But the Greenham's a big arse now. It's perhaps only a Group 3 in name.
If you missed the Greenham, would you go straight to the Guineas, or might you be inclined to swerve it?
I think we'd be inclined to swerve it. I think he would have had to run well in a race like that. So then there's the likes of a 7 furlong listed back here at the Guineas meeting.
Okay, great. All right then. Well, thanks for bringing us up to date. Many congratulations here, and best of luck for the rest of the week.
Thank you.
Forward to host the Racing Break customers for the Dubai World Cup. See you exclusively for a Dubai World Cup party.
When you bet fair on racing, you get daily rewards. So any day can be. On the Betfair Sportsbook, get extra play.
That's about it. They're off and racing. Lee Hu was last in, but zinged out of the gates. Over on the far side, Spring Bloom and Up It's Maggie and Impeach all show decent pace as well, with Burning Cash tracking those. Mokkatil has decided to break away from those four and come across this near side, where Texas Man is showing speed to lead them ahead of Lee Hu. So Texas Man, Lee Hu, followed by Dream Composer and Isle of Lismore, travelling strongly, yellow sleeves and cap against the rail. Alberez is in behind them on this near side group, and Mokkatil last of this near side group, as Texas Man makes the best of his way down to the 2 furlong marker. Still out in the middle of the track though, Impeach and Up It's Maggie are right there, and with every chance too. Lee Hu's coming again. Dream Composer arriving on the scene, going really well. Isle of Lismore's looking for a way out. Alberez also just a little bit short of room there as they group up, heading up the hill towards the line. Lee Hu gallantly fighting back with Dream Composer still in front. Spring Blooms over on the far side. Dream Composer finding enough to see it off. Dream Composer it is, tight second, Spring Bloom and Lee Hu. Alberez and Up It's Maggie with the next ones home.
Dream Composer wins 9-2. Dougie Costello for James Evans in the colours of Peter Clark Racing partners. Spring Bloom was second, 16-1. Lee Hu third, 10-1. Unplaced was Up It's Maggie. Race not just quite developing perhaps how that horse wanted from the draw. It did develop again towards the stand side. By and large, that's what we've seen for most of the races today. And the winner's Big White Blaze, always prominent, always up there, hitting the rising ground and seeing it out well in a race where not a huge amount got into it. Up It's Maggie just hanging in a little bit there and couldn't get there. So Dream Composer took the last. We had Bo Pedro winning at 11-1. That was the biggest priced winner. 4 winning favourites, including Majestic Pride, the first of a double for Charlie Appleby and William Björk. Ottoman Fleet was the second of them in the feature. The Bet 365 Earl of Sefton, 6-4 winning favourite. Blue Storm was another winner for freshman sire Blue Point.